When a woman wants you, she always shows these three signs. Female psychology. The hardest thing to understand is not rejection, it is the quiet way genuine affection hides in plain sight. Many people spend years chasing obvious signals while completely missing the subtle moments that truly reveal someone's heart. This is the story of a man who believed he was invisible until three simple signs changed everything he thought he knew about love, respect, and human connection. Sometimes, the loudest emotions are never spoken aloud. They are revealed through patience, consistency, and the smallest acts that most people overlook. Before we continue, if you believe kindness deserves a second chance and heartfelt stories can change lives, please take a moment to like this video, leave a comment sharing your thoughts, share it with someone who needs encouragement, and subscribe to Kindness Corner for more inspiring stories that remind us hope is never truly lost. Every weekday morning, under bright blue skies and warm sunshine, Rowan Mercer followed the same peaceful routine. At 32 years old, he had built a quiet life that looked successful from the outside. He worked as a landscape architect, designing beautiful public parks where families laughed, children played, and elderly couples walked hand in hand beneath rows of green trees. Yet despite creating places where countless happy memories were made, his own life felt strangely empty. He had spent years believing that if someone truly wanted him, they would simply say it. Instead, he watched relationships around him blossom while convincing himself that nobody ever looked at him with genuine interest. Rowan carried invisible disappointments that had slowly shaped the way he viewed himself. A painful breakup years earlier had left him questioning every compliment and every smile directed toward him. Whenever someone showed kindness, he assumed they were simply being polite. Whenever someone remembered something personal about him, he dismissed it as coincidence. His heart had learned to protect itself by expecting nothing. Although this shield kept him safe from disappointment, it also prevented him from recognizing sincere affection standing only a few steps away. Everything began changing during a community renovation project in a quiet neighborhood park. Volunteers gathered every Saturday morning to plant flowers, repaint benches, and restore walking paths. Among them was Maren Ellis, a 30-year-old wildlife photographer whose cheerful spirit seemed to brighten every corner she entered. Unlike many people, she never tried to become the center of attention. She simply listened carefully, noticed details others ignored, and quietly helped wherever she was needed. Rowan appreciated her kindness, but assumed she treated everyone exactly the same. As weeks passed beneath clear daytime skies, subtle patterns emerged that Rowan failed to notice while everyone else seemed to recognize them immediately. The first sign appeared through genuine curiosity. Maren remembered tiny details from conversations most people would forget. She asked how Rowan's mother was recovering after a minor surgery weeks earlier. She remembered his favorite coffee without asking twice. She noticed when he looked exhausted after long workdays, and gently encouraged him to rest. None of these moments felt dramatic, yet together they revealed something powerful. Real interest always pays attention. People naturally invest their attention where their hearts quietly begin investing themselves. Still, Rowan convinced himself she was simply thoughtful. His insecurity translated every meaningful gesture into ordinary kindness. Deep inside, he feared believing something beautiful only to discover he had imagined it all. His uncertainty became the greatest obstacle standing between him and genuine happiness. Sometimes our biggest enemy is not what others think of us, but what we secretly believe about ourselves. The second sign appeared through consistency rather than excitement. Maren never disappeared whenever life became busy. She continued showing up every Saturday morning, even after exhausting photography assignments across the state. She often arrived carrying homemade lemonade for the volunteers during warm afternoons. Without making grand announcements, she naturally positioned herself beside Rowan while planting flowers or cleaning garden paths. Their conversations became effortless, stretching from favorite childhood memories to future dreams without either of them forcing the connection. Genuine affection rarely depends on dramatic gestures. Instead, it quietly chooses presence over performance, showing up again and again until trust grows naturally. The older volunteers exchanged knowing smiles whenever they watched the pair working together beneath bright afternoon sunlight. One elderly gardener gently remarked that flowers always lean toward sunlight without realizing it, just as hearts naturally lean toward people who made them feel safe. Rowan smiled politely but never imagined those words might describe his own situation. The third sign arrived unexpectedly during the annual neighborhood festival. Hundreds of visitors filled the newly restored park, celebrating months of hard work. Rowan was overwhelmed coordinating volunteers when sudden equipment problems threatened to cancel several activities. Stress clouded his thoughts, and for a brief moment he questioned whether all their effort had been wasted. Before he could solve everything alone, Maren quietly stepped forward. She organized volunteers, reassured worried families, found creative solutions, and remained beside Rowan through every challenge. She never sought recognition. Her greatest concern was making sure he didn't carry every burden by himself. Watching her move confidently through the crowd, Rowan finally understood something that years of loneliness had hidden from him. Someone who genuinely cares does not simply admire you during easy moments. They naturally become your partner during difficult ones. They protect your peace, celebrate your victories, and help carry your struggles without expecting applause. As the afternoon sun illuminated the colorful gardens they had built together, Rowan realized the three signs had surrounded him for months. She remembered because she cared. She remained consistent because he mattered. She supported him because his happiness had quietly become important to her own. None of these signs relied on dramatic words. Instead, they reflected emotional investment that could never be convincingly faked. That realization transformed far more than one relationship. Rowan stopped measuring his worth through fear, and began recognizing that healthy affection grows through actions repeated over time. Love is rarely announced with fireworks. More often, it arrives through thoughtful attention, dependable presence, and quiet support during ordinary days. If this story has touched your heart or reminded you of someone special, please like this video, leave a comment, share it with friends and family, and subscribe to Kindness Corner. Your support allows more inspiring stories of hope, kindness, and meaningful human connection to reach people who need them most. Before this story ends, tell us in the comments, which of these three signs do you believe reveals genuine love the most, and have you ever experienced it yourself? Sometimes the greatest love story begins not when someone says, "I want you," but when they quietly prove, day after day, that they never stopped choosing you. And perhaps the most beautiful lesson of all is that the right person rarely asks you to become someone else. They simply help you finally see the value that has always been within you.